Hey, 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 ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are doing great. All right, yeah, that's it, that's it. So, folks, today I'm gonna show for you how I build my query KQL to investigate from signing logs. All right, I don't wanna search here. I don't want to hunt in here specifically about brute force, impossible travel, MFA fatigue, or password spray, and etc. 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 All right. I just want to looking for the pattern that we are able to view of a specific user or users. Okay, so which IPs, device, user identity user has used that to sign in. Okay, that is the one. So let's go. And here, guys, I will explain for you how I build my KQL, why I'm using this column and this data, for you understand better. We can go dive here on my explanation. Okay, let's start. Okay, here, sure, I'm not using here real data, I'm using here a fake data because we don't want to leak data. All right, yeah, you need to be careful with this. So I have a demo table that I have created previously. Okay, the name, as you can see, is IdentityInfo demo and SigninLogs demo. Okay, so I will come here, and first what I need to do is understand which type of the data you have here available to investigate. Okay, this is my first tip for you. So okay, I will run this query and let's check what we are able to view here. All right, guys, so let's wait. Is the query is running? Perfect. So we have the time generated here, as you can see. All right. Oh no. So we are running here the SigninLogs demo, and okay, here we have the time generated, user principal name, the result type is very important. Okay, remember this. The result signature, result description, some IPs, ASN, autonomous system number, location, device user, etc. All right, so very good. We have all this data available. So right now, what I want to filter here first is the time. Okay, so what we use here is where time generated, okay, greater than ago. Ago what? 1 day ago. I can use here 1 day ago. I can use here 3 hours ago. I can use here 10 minutes ago. Whatever. Okay, you can choose here. I will put like this, 1 day ago. Perfect. And what I want to filter here is only the user that passed to signing. They were authorized, they were approved to do the signing. Okay, and I can put like this, and result type equal 0. Why? Because here you have the codes. For example, when you have 0, it means that is the user were approved to type the correct password, the credentials. All right, and here, as you can see, we have the code and 50126. Usually this is when you have invalid username or password. Okay, you can check all the documentation Microsoft. And guys, you can just see, you can just open another tab and you can search about this. You know, we never will know about everything, all the codes. You can search here. So this is the code 50126. Okay, you can search and your code, result type, signing logs, Microsoft, okay, and a result type. What this mean? You can search bar. Oh, look at this. On Microsoft Enter ID, all right, the error code 50126 indicates a failure at signing due to an invalid username or password. So you need to search, you know, so you can go dive and doing this. Okay, perfect. So we have this here. Okay, so as you can see here, we have 11 records. Okay, so I want to filter only the users that had success to signing. Okay, so I press Shift Enter. Okay, now I have 80 records. Perfect. And what we can see is the user John and Sarah. And okay, perfect. The result type, as we see, okay, 00. If I want to see specifically for different 0, I can put like this, and I can filter all the users that they failed to sign in. Okay, so check this out. Look at this. Okay, we have 3. Okay, oh, I want to check all the users with a specific result type. You can do this. Just change the value here. So 5 and 0 1 2 6, and boom, you have. Okay, so let's come back. All the users that has passed to signing, they were approved. Okay, the query was running, and we have here the value. Okay, we have location, device detail. Perfect. Okay, and multi-factor, all this authentication. Okay, perfect. We have all the values here in the user agent. We have client, app user. Perfect, guys. So okay, now what I want to do here is start to show for you what you can do here. For example, I will comment this line. Okay, and what I need to do is first understand all the data that I have here. For example, which type of values I have. For example, dynamic, string, int. Okay, I want to understand all the schema of my table. What I can do is use this function here, like getschema, and I will run this query, and what you can see is this. Okay, I have the column name, and I have the data type, the column type, data type, string, int, dynamic, etc. But remember, this table here is a fake table. Okay, it's a demo table, just to demonstrate for you, simulate a real case. Okay, and let's go back. Just for you understand what we will do now. So first, I want to create here about the result. Okay, so I want the result signature, result description. Let's see what you are able to view. Okay, result type, result signature, and result description. Let's start using project, time generated, user principal name. Okay, result type. Now we already have here, but I don't want a lot of information for you understand what you are doing. Okay, let me reduce using project, because when I use project I can just show only the columns that I want. So I just want to show these columns here. Okay, I will change here to different than 0, because we usually have more information, because we have the result signature and description, what it means the due that we have failed signing. Okay, as you can see, so here MFA was required, and we have the result description. Okay, and perfect. So now what I want to do here is use another function, is called extend. So let me fix. Okay, extend, project, and where they are not functions, they are operator. Okay, remember the name of this. So usually I want to use this column, the name already means. So I want to extend, I want to create a new column. All right, so for example, I will do like this and test. Okay, it's in Portuguese. Test what you have here, the result type for now, the result signature, the description. Look, and I put here in the end the name of this is test, so I put test. Look, the same name. Okay, I want to do what I want here. Okay, look at this, I have the same value of result description, and it's better, so good. And we are start to improve here. Okay, I will call this like a result of status. Okay, you know, guys, sometimes I will make some mistakes with my English pronunciation because I have learned it by myself, and sometimes some words I'm not so good, but you have the subtitles here, so you can understand me so much better. Okay. Ah, okay, let's come back. And here, what I want here is I want to have all these three results in just one column. Perfect. So what I need to use here, let's check. What I need to do is a result type is result signature and result description. Okay, but look, you need to understand what you are doing. Okay, let's check what will happen here. And boom, as you can see, look, I just have the first value for the first column here, because what I need to do is join these columns. To be honest, I will use a better word, is concatenate. Okay, I need to concatenate these three columns in one column. And what I need to use here is this operator, colon strcat. Okay, let's check what we have here when we use the strcat. Look at this, guys. Boom, look, pay attention, this guys, it's amazing. Okay, you can concatenate all these three values, they are separated in just one, but we need to improve. Look, I can read this, it's not so, this is not readable. Okay, I need to improve this operator. And what you can do here is very simple. You can just come here and put you open quote. Okay, because I want to string here. Okay, perfect. And I can put another one here. Check this out. Hey, look, we have it we have red here because we need to put the comma to separate each argument. Okay, so okay, I will run again the query, and boom, so much better. All right, we separated here result type, result signature, and here result description. Perfect. But you can improve this, because imagine if I have another columns here, like for example, on time generated, user principal name, I want to use IP address, I want to use device detail, etc, etc, etc. You can put this, but look, it's not readable and it's not so good, because you need to come here all the time. Oh, I need to open quotes, put the comma, and do it again. No, guy, you don't need to do it. You can improve, okay? And you have another operator to improve this, and this is what we do now. So I can come here, check this out, and I use the strcat underscore delin. Okay, so we have a delimiter here. And what you can use, you can just put here, you can set this in the first argument of your operator, like I just want one comma. Okay, and let's see the result. I will delete all this that I did before. Okay, let me delete, and let's run. Look, I don't need to put all the comma. You see? It's the same, exactly the same result. So it's so much better. Okay? I just can come here and put, like, for example, IP address and device detail. Look, the comma, we have this, as we set this as delimiter. Look, I have here all the values separated. Perfect. Yeah, that is the one. Okay, guys. So we already had this done. Perfect. So let me delete these columns, and look how it's better. Okay, and let's continue improving this. Let's check for device detail. Guys, remember, I can just came here and check for all the results. But how I already know the columns that I want to show for me, I have this on my mind. Okay, so you can just look here and you can go and comment this line, and you, okay, I want this column, and you go typing and you go building your query. Okay, you don't need to put like I am doing here, because I already have this on my mind. Okay, so perfect. I have device detail, but oh my god, look at this, guys. Check this out. It's different, you know. It's very different. So you have these values between the curly braces. You see, they are different because check. Remember, we use that getschema, and you can understand the type of each data you have in each column. So we can use here using project gettype, and you can put here device detail, and you check the difference. The reason is because it's a dictionary. Do you see? So you can come here and get type, for example, for user principal name. Let's check which type is a string, you know. So we need to convert this value before we improve. All right, and this is what we see now. But first, let's create another column on here. Let me just show for you. I put here the result type equals 0, because I want to see real. Okay, look, check this out. So when I expand here the device detail, what we have is device ID, display name, operation system, and trace type. I want to return some values of here. Okay, yes, probably I will return all these values, but I want to have a better view how they are displayed in the screen here. Yes, because this is not good. Okay, I have a lot of information here. We can improve this, and just for practice the operators, and we understand the logic. So let's use this. So I use x10. Okay, I will call here like device name, and you understand here. So I can put here a device name, and what we have is device detail dot which field I want, which field do I want is display name. All right, so after the dot I will put the same name, display name. Okay, or you can just come here, look, copy, because it's case sensitive. All right, it's case sensitive, it needs to be the same, and then you put here like device name. Look what we have, boom, we have the name. Okay, it's better. Do you see? And we can do this for all the values that we want inside this dictionary. And what I want to check here, let's get the type of device name. It is already a string. Perfect. Yes, do you see? But I always prefer, my advice is, for example, how the device detail is a dictionary, it's better idea to avoid problems, issues. You convert all these results for a string. This is my advice. It's always better you do this. Okay, we want to prevent errors. Okay, and now what I want is device OS. Okay, you put like this, device OS. You have the same. So I copy, and you convert this to a string, and I put device detail dot the field that I want the operation system, and we can keep doing like this. So I want here like a device ID to string, all right, device detail dot, you just come here and copy, and boom, and you can come here again, device managed, perfect, to string, device detail dot, and truth type. Okay, perfect. And you can show here on the project, so on device name where I have this device OS just for show for you, and device type, device manager. Okay, and boom, we have these all these columns, but remember they are separated. Can you see? I want to concatenate all these columns, and we already did it previously. Okay, and another tip that I have for you, do you see I am using 4, no, 1 2 3 4, yes, 4. I'm using here 4 extend operators, and all are from the same column, is from device. Oh my god, I need to improve here. Is device, look, device, yeah, I need to change here. Perfect, now it's correct. And my advice here is for you reduce the time, the lines is, man, come on, you can come here, and you can delete all these extend. Okay, you just put the comma to separate here. Okay, and you can have all these here. It will work perfectly. Let's check. I will run the query again, and boom, we have the same result. So you know, you see, we had here 3 lines, and now we are able to do in just 1 line. Perfect. Yes, this is my another advice for you guys. And now what we do is create another column to have all these values that we converted to a string and we separated to 1 column. Is the same as we did previously here. Okay, so I will use the operator device, and I put here device properties. This is the name that I want. Okay, if I want to use another name here, I can use the name that oh my god, that come on my mind. Okay, the name is better for you. And what do you do here, guys? Do remember, use it is strcat underscore the len. So we use the same because we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 columns. I want to join all them, but using a delimiter. Okay, and this is what we do now. So strcat delimiter, and we use here, yes, we use the comma, and we put the name. So I want device name, I put here device OS, I put here device ID, and I put here the device manager, and we will show all these in 1 column. So I put device properties, and boom, look how it's clean our information. It's so much better now. Okay, the query is running. Let's wait. Okay, so oh my god, yes, sometimes this happen. Let me run again, and boom, do you see? We have all that information in just one column. Perfect, like here, but we can improve because we can improve the how this is displayed for us. And this is what we do now, because for example, what is this brcp LT004? What is this dev002? I don't know. So we can always improve our query. Okay, so what do we do here, guys? We will use another function that we saw previously, is called strcat. Okay, so why is the reason? Because I can put other value before the name of the column, before the value, the result. So I show for you, it's better. strcat, and the delimiter here I put like yes, display, no, device. Check this out, guys. It will be very easy for you to understand. Okay, so on this specific value here, I want to put the device before this. Look, pay attention here, what we will have. Do you see? So the device, okay, I can put here name, whatever, and you have the information so much clear now. Do you see? And we can do this for all this. So on device OS, I put here strcat. Okay, just for you understand how I already know, I can put like this, but for you show the operator, you can space, you need to give a space of the next argument here, where is this column, and look, str. Okay, and I have this. Okay, but how I already know, we don't need this, so I put os. Okay, boom, I will close this and I will open another one, strcat. Boom, opa, sorry. And I put here the device ID. I can put like, oh, device ID, yes, let's use it, ID, and boom, I separated. And another one, strcat. No, for device manager I don't want nothing. Let's check, look the difference, the name. Okay, if you prefer, you can use another delimiter. You can use the pipe, for example, and before and presently, before and after. Okay, and you have this name, OS, ID, nothing. Okay, do you see the difference? How it's so much better our information, guys. Okay, and now do you see sometimes check, I will change the value do result type for all. Look, I don't have information of the name of the OS. I have here, but I don't have the name, neither ID. We can improve this. Okay, and this is what we do now. We will use another function here, and what we will use is if. So if, okay, what device name, do you remember, is different of blank. If it's different, okay, if we have some name in display name, what we have here is all this will run perfectly. Okay, boom, perfect. If not, strcat, where I want to have OS, and I put the device OS. After I separate this, and boom, let's check. Oh, sorry. Okay, what is happening here? Expect 3 arguments. No, let me check here, guys. This is what it oh, okay. Sorry. Guys, this is the problem. You know, I close at the parentheses on the wrong part. This happened. So check this out. So I don't want all this information about name when we don't have it. I just want this. Okay. So if you prefer, you can come here, delete this, and put like this. Okay. Just this information, but I prefer put like this because I know, oh, other information, I don't have nothing. Okay, that is the one. So you see, we use an strcat delete tostring if strcat. So we are starting to have a great query here, and you can, oh my god, I can use this for a lot of other cases. Okay, that is the one, and let's keep improving this right now. And what we use, what we use here is the other column about MFA, but previously let's check it again about authentication. Let's check authentication requirement. Okay, all these are a multi-factor. Now almost of them we have one single factor authentication. Perfect. Yes, amazing. Okay, guys, check this. When I have these columns, look, a difference. We have a result type as 0. We don't need to put here success and success because the result type is 0. It's always success. All right. So what we can do, I tell you how to use the if here, and you can do the same here. Okay. So let's do it. Perfect. Do you agree with me? Why? Because I just want to show here success. I don't want to show 0, success, and success. Okay. I want to improve this result. Let me delete the device details and let's show just these values here. Okay, perfect. And let's start it. So if, why am I using this? So if result type is different than 0, why? Do you remember when the result type is different than 0? What we have is all these columns: result signature and result description. Look, I have all this information. And if result type is different than 0, I want to show all these values. Okay, if not, show success. Simple, just simple like this. Let's run this again. Boom. This is not affected because the result is different than 0. So we have all this query running. When it's 0, this is what we have, just success. Okay, I want to put all this in uppercase. You can do what you want. This is your query. Perfect. I put like this, I prefer. Okay. Oh my god, do I need to use yeah, like this. Okay, success. Okay, perfect. I use 2C. Yes, perfect. I was just confirming here. perfect. And now let's go for another one. Okay, what we use here is authentication requirement, MFA detail. Just show for you guys another one that I want to do here. Perfect. We have this. Remember when we have this when we have the value usually between these curly braces is a dictionary. You can confirm, you always can double check, guys. MFA detail, and let's check. This is a dictionary. Yeah, this is a dictionary. So we need to convert this to string. Okay, don't forget, I can expand MFA detail, and what we have only the auth method. Okay, so let's work over this. And what I want to create here is extend MFA, and what I need to do is to string what MFA detail dot what is the field. I will just copy here and boom. Oh, sorry guys. Okay, of detail. After this, I will create another one, status. Okay, and what we have here, I want to concatenate. Remember, str delete. Okay, perfect. Which columns I want to authentication requirement, and this one that I have created here, MFA, and we go show here. Oh, okay, I forgot to put the delimiter here, and we can just put here, you see, and I want to check here MFA underscore status. Perfect. Check this. Do you see? Better. All right. Why I did it? I did it. Did I do it? Because if I put here just the MFA detail, check this out. How the result is not so clear. You see? It's not beauty. It's not pretty. It's ugly. Oh my God! I can understand this easily. So we can work this value before it display it. Okay, that is the one. And okay, it's so much better. Okay, but let's check all these, guys. I want to check. I want to check all the result types. I don't want to check only for 0 or different than 0. What we have here is single factor. Okay, usually in the real table, when we have single factor, we don't have the auth method. It's very I have never seen this in a real case, but we can put here when it's single factor on authentication requirement, we don't need to know this auth method. Okay, and what we can use, what can we use? Do you remember? If, okay, because I have a condition, if authentication requirement we have single factor, we don't need to show the auth method, okay, because the MFA detail never will show nothing here because it's a single factor, you see. But how this is a fake table, is a demo table, we have these values here, but usually we don't have it. We can improve. Okay, so let's start here. Let's put the if what authentication requirement is different than single factor, we will have all this one. If not, I will just display here. Okay, let's check our condition. Look, when it's single factor, when it's multi-factor, I have multi-factor authentication and the type. Perfect. So check this out. I will delete these columns, delete this one, and all these last 3 columns we have created here, guys. We created this 7 minutes ago. And look, check this out, how is pretty. The information, the data here is so much, oh my God, it's pretty, amazing. Perfect. Do you see? You can do you can create, you can build your own query KQL. Okay, we can do what you want. You can retrieve, you can get all the data you prefer to get. So let's continue. Okay, we can improve so much more here. Okay, guys, and now I guess this, oh my god, this is what I wanted to show for you so far, but we will show now. We will start to be, so it's not so easy how you explain for you, because I want to show the conditional access status and conditional access policy. Let's check. This is not so easy, because I show for you. Check this. Conditional access policies. I will expand here the value, and I will expand conditional access policies. We have 0, we have 1, we have 2 records, we have 3 records. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Why this happen? As you can see, the values here, they are between brackets. Do you see the brackets? This means this is an array. All right, we have a list here, so you can check gettype as always, conditional access policies. Let's check the result, guys, and boom, is our array. Okay, and do you see? I want to improve. I don't want to show all the policies. I just want to get the policies that they failed, or we have success or failure status, a failure or success result. Okay, as you can see, we have the display name, we have the name of the policy, we have the result. Oh, success applied. Okay, we have success here, we have success here. Let me show. Oh, look at this. We have a failure result here for this CA policy. I just want to get, let me drag it here. Okay. Oh, guys, sorry. Let me drag my face here. Oh, I didn't realize this. Sorry, guys. Yeah, now it's better. Okay. Perfect. Guys, if I expand here, I just want to get the display result. Okay, if the condition is failure or success. Sometimes we have another result like not apply yet, none. I don't know if you have this on this fake table. I mean, not realize this here. Okay, yes, but sometimes we have success, failure, not applied, or non-result. Okay, and I just want to filter for all this and display in a clean data, and this is what we do now. Okay, and as I show it for you, this is an array, so we need to expand this array, and I will build all this. Guys, I'm back. Sorry, I was answer a call. And where was we? Where were we? Oh, okay. I will use the conditional access policies, and I will show for you how we can get some specific values here. Okay, so what I need to use here is MV apply. I won't explain all this for you because, guys, you know, you need to do a course to understand. But I'm just explaining for you why I'm using these columns, these values, etc. Okay, and what we do here is I create a policy item, and okay, I want the conditional access policies on where where what, guys? Where it policy item dot result. Okay, this result here, where we have, and I'm using this because I don't want to how do I say this specific case sensitive. I don't want case sensitive, and you put here success and failure. Always when I found success and failure, where on the result, okay, I will convert this to string. Remember when we use an here device, because DeviceDetail we had a dictionary, here is an array, so it's always good idea you convert this value to do the comparison, because when I compare with this, when I have all this information, for example, if you put here 0 is like int. If I put inside the codes is a string, is different. Okay, I guess you already know about this, but I always like to say the obvious, and listen the obvious too is always good. Okay, so yes guys, this is the one. After this, what you do is summarize what you create this this column. Okay, see policy, I use here an strcat delin no array. I will do a list, and after this I use strcat, yes guys, and after this I use toString what policy item that we have created there about display name. Look, display name. Okay guys, okay, after this what I need to use, I want to separate this because what we have is success or failure, and I'm creating this column here, call it CA policy, where I have the display name of the policy. For example, this policy I will separate by double equal, and I will have the result that we have here. Okay, this will come after, and this is what we do now. Now you convert to string what the policy item dot result. Okay, so I will close this. Okay, so let me check here guys, this is this parenthesis, I close in here the strcat with this second one, and this I close the make list. Perfect. Yes, and to separate and each policy, because sometimes I will have more than one line, because this is an array, I will separate this because we are inside the strcat underscore array yet. I will separate this using 3 types. You understand this better when I show for you. So, and here I'm closing, okay, with this parenthesis, I'm closing the strcat array, okay, and this one I will close all my query about my MV apply. Okay, and here I don't want to do in another line, I want to keep here because to maintain further is better, because I understand that this pipe is about this line, about all this line. Okay, so I use here extend and CA policy that we have created here. Don't forget this. Okay, I use CA policy. What we receive if is not empty. Okay, no, is empty. Yes, I can use whatever. Okay, just change the value here. If is empty the CA policy, where you have here, I show this. If not, I show CA policy. And guys, check this, it's so much better. So our column CA policy, and let's run this query, and you have, look how the information, the data is so much better. Here we have, we have here, let me show this, guys. Let me expand this, okay. Pay attention. We have the name of the policy here. Oh, it's so much clean. We have the result, success, like the same, success. Okay, let me do like this. It's better. Okay, and we have the name of the other policy here. Boom, boom, and we have the result. Boom, boom, success. Okay, and we separated each line, each policy using 3 pipes. This is the reason that we have user strcat array, because do you remember the conditional access policies, we have an array, is the type of the data is array. So for each line that we are calculating this, because we did a list, I will separate using 3 pipes. Okay, so we have the display name equal and the result. After he check for that specific line, let me come here, log. He check at this line for the policy display name and the result. Boom, I will separate using 3 pipes. Do you know? That is the one, guys. We are almost there. We can put other columns here. I was just explaining for you how you can use MV apply, extend, toString, strcat, delete, strcat, if, and other operators here. Okay, and perfect. And yes, let's create another one, because here when you are doing your investigation is always good you have the IP and autonomous system number. Okay, we need to use these 2 together, guys. And yeah, we have this. And do you see how the information is so much better? How you can see this? Okay, failure. Look at the conditional access status. Failure, we have this. Okay, perfect. This is the one. Yes, guys. So I want to join this concatenate, and you just need to use what we saw previously. We can call this like ASN and IP address, and we use strcat len, and you put here the delimiter. Perfect. And we call this, okay, strcat. Use here, I will call ASN because I want to see this first. So I will put autonomous system number after this. Okay, perfect. I use another strcat to use here IP. And I put the IP, and instead we use these 2 columns. I use ASN, and check this, guys. We solved this previously using strcat inside the strcat delete. Okay, look, better. All right, guys. Okay, I will delete these 2 columns. Guys, I was thinking right now at live, guys. I guess check this out. We don't need to use this. Let's try check. Let's try do this. Do you see? Okay. Do you see, guys? And now you can easily copy these values. Okay, you have the two together. It's so much better. All right, guys. Yes, the function is really good, as you can see. Perfect, really perfect. And now, guys, I guess this is how can I say for you, what I could teach for you how I create my KQL. But let's finish this because I want to put my original KQL that I have. Okay, and we will sort this project. We will I will show for you about other table, and we can join these two tables about identity info I'm talking about. All right, so let's put here, like, let's start to start this user principal name. I want to ASN. After this, I want the session. Okay, so remember, guys, you can put like this and check for all the columns how I'm user choose. What I want here is session ID. Okay, it's always good you have the session ID, because with this the session ID I show for you, I put here location, I put here device properties. Okay, after device property I use a result of. Okay, perfect. MFA, conditional access status, CA policy, perfect. Now you put here app display name, I put here research display. We have, okay, we have here display client app user, it's always good, and user agent. Okay, and okay, perfect. Risk, yes, risk level, aggregator, risk level during signing, risk in state, perfect, and risk event. Oh, the type, perfect. Okay, I have this error, duplicate column names. Okay, it's marked here in red. I will delete it because I already have this column here, and I will run the query again. And boom. Okay, look how is so much better, and I'm just able to view the columns that I wanted. So now I will change here the result type as 0. Okay, and guys, and here you can put here the pipe here, and you can put where, you can put and. Okay, this doesn't matter because you see when I change the line I use the pipe, but you can put like this too, you work perfect. Look, where result type is equal 0, we will have 11 or 80 records. Okay, and I can put this like this, is the same. Check this. Okay, it's the same, guys. Perfect. And I want to show for you how our information here is so much better than the previously. Look, here I have a lot of columns, and I don't want all this one. I want to make my own order and display the value how I want, how I desire. And okay, we are using this. Perfect. And okay, we don't have it correlation. Do I have the correlation ID here? I have. It's very good to use this. Okay, perfect. Guys, and sure, here is a demo table, but it's always, I always like to use session ID because we can understand here if the session is the same of the user. For example, if you have a session ID here with the same code, but as you can see here, we have from Brazil or for France, for United States. If you have the same session ID used on, oh my god, my clock is beeping here. Okay, sorry. If you have the same session ID from using on other device from other place, oh my god, you need to be vigilant. Maybe this is a red flag and you need to check the user agent, because if you have the same session ID, let me drag here this column from user agent. If you have the session ID, the same code used for other device, for other location, and other user agent, guy, what is the chance? What probably happened here was a session hijacked, you know. So I always like to check here for session ID, because okay, this is the same session. Perfect. Yes, it's not so good when I try to explain this in English. In Portuguese for me is better, but I hope you understood this. I know why I'm using this, specifically each values that I have here. I know the reason, okay? And now what I want to show here is other table, guys. Do remember we have here identity info. Why? Because identity info, let's check here if we can do like this. How this is a demo, I don't know, guys. Identity, no, I can't call. Okay, let me check here. Identity info demo. I want to check for all the values that we have. So let me copy. How this is a demo, I can't do like this. Let me check perfectly. I will just paste this value here. Perfect. Let me come back. Let's check the values that we have here available. Perfect, perfect. Guys, what I want to do here is really join the tables, because I want to check all the values that usually I use on the signing logs. I want to join this table here, and I want to join what? The job title, if the account is enabled. Okay, this is what I want to return for me in the department too. Okay, so what we can do, guys, I will keep like this. Remember my function. I will copy here my query. Okay, I paste in here, and now let's start creating our join. Okay, and what you do here is create a function. Oh yes, I use let upn. UPN here I put in blank. Why? Because when I paste here for example this, I will retrieve these values using calling for this let. Okay, and I want to create another one called user info, because I want to get these values from identity info. And what we have here, perfect, no, identity info demo, perfect, where account UPN, do you see? Account UPN contains UPN, contains what? This value, the value that I put on this variable. Okay, what do? Extend account lower. This is what I am creating here. Why? Because I want to convert all these to lower. What is the value? Account UPN. Why? I'm doing this because sometimes when you have some values in identity info table, some letters are in uppercase. For example, it's like this: John Smith. All right. If I use here equal, what I can have is I cannot find this user on identity info, because on the signing info it's all the value in lower case, you know, in low case. And identity info, I can find this value in uppercase. So if I use double equal here, oh my god, I will not be able to find this. And you can use hash, but I don't like. It's more efficient use contents here, because sometimes if you just put here, like for example, if you just put here John like this, you are able to find all the user with John, and there you can copy the user principal name that you want and paste here. Perfect. So let's come back. I was previously perfect because I was explaining for you. Oh man, let me put here. Okay, now equal. I want to use contents perfectly. And okay, so I want to convert all these value here from account UPN to low case. What I use is summarize arg underscore max, because I want the most recent values on identity info. And I use time generated. I want to return all the columns. Yes, I can put like this all the columns, or I can just put here job title, department, and is account enable as I want. Okay, but I prefer put like this here, and by account lower, and boom, I finished my variable user info. Okay, so I close this using semicolon as I did previously, as I did before. Okay, so perfect. We already have our function here, and I can't have this space. I need to choose the function join that the operator join that we use after. We need to have all these together, okay, line by line. And now I put my okay, before the project I will create my join, okay, because I finished all the results that I wanted on SigninLogs, and what I use here is join, okay, kind left folder. Why? Because the most important value that I want here is always returning the signing. Always returning the signing. Same if I don't have the value on identity info. Okay. This is the reason that I am using left, and I'm not using the, for example, inner. Okay, because I don't want to do this match. I want to do this matching, prioritizing of my left table, which is SigninLogs. So I use here left tolower, and okay, I put here the user info table. Don't you want to show for me? Okay, no problems. On left what? UPN. Okay, I will create this don't have these. Oh, okay, guys. As I created here an account lower, because I want to avoid some issues further, what I need to create here is another one for an UPN, and this is what we do now. So I put here extend, okay, UPN lower. What happened here? I will convert to lower what user principal name, only this one, okay. So yeah, perfectly, yes. Yes, everything is right here. Let's keep in perfect. And the left value, what is the left? UPN underscore lower that we have created here, okay, as you can see, because it is my major table signing. Let me minimize this here. Perfect. Now it's better for you understand, okay. So this is my prior value, okay. What I want need to be equal what for the right table. And what is the right table? We in our join is the user info, and the value is account underscore layer. This is what I use here. Okay, perfect. This is the one. This is how we use the join on this case, because I already have created the let here. And let's check, guys. Boom. Let's wait and let's check. We don't have a problem, a error code, error message, and we have all the information that we had previously, that we built previously. Okay, and look at these, guys. I'm not showing here why, because I forgot to put this on my project. Okay, but I'm able to see all these columns. Let me put this after the let me check client app user, no, user agent. You put here the remember the columns we had there: job title, department, and is account enabled. So what we did here using the join is I can put all the columns there on IdentityInfo table. Okay, this is the reason that I am able to get these values, because these values I don't have these available on SigninLogs. I just have these available on IdentityInfo. Okay, this is what we did here. Look, IdentityInfo demo, as I showed for you previously, and use the join here to prioritize the SigninLogs, and we will get this value, use the user info, okay, on where the left value for our left table is the most important and need to be equal the same than here. Okay, and yes, if the name match what we have on the IdentityInfo demo, I'm able to get the job title, department, and its account enabled. Okay, let me show for you again. I run the query with this new project, and guys, oh, as you can see, not loaded here. I put this on another tab because I have this bug. I'm facing this problem here. Maybe it's cooked, but let me put all this here and run again for you realize. Job title is not here. Why this happened? Okay, let me check, guys, what is happened. Oh god, the join is right. IdentityInfo demo. Okay, color. UPN. Yeah, guys, I forgot this. So where user principal name contains what? The UPN. Okay, I delete this and put the UPN. So where the time generated 1 day ago, where result type was, okay, able to sign in, success to signing, and the user principal name contains UPN. This UPN, I forgot this. This is for you see. This is the reason you need to study. You need to do your own queries in KQL for you understand what is happening there. Okay, so look in this. I was able to realize, and you check that here on job title department in the account enable. I will get these values right now because it's everything working perfectly. Okay. Oh, guys, no. Okay, UPN, HLR. This is weird. Very weird. I didn't come back here because this cooks is not good, guys. But this is what happened in the real life, in the real case. Neither always you be able. I may not find here the error where principal name 1 time ago. Okay, use a principal name. Yes, where result type like 0. Okay, guys, this is the one. Oh, guys, look, for me is I found the error, guys, at live, this is the reason, because the value of UPN was between the codes, this I'm doing here at live for you. This is the reason that you need to study, because you need to understand what is happening there, and I found the error. Oh my god. But this is for you understand on real case this happen, and sometimes, and I'm very tired. For me it's almost 1 a.m. 1 a.m. and I'm here recording this video to share with you some stuff that I know, so I will run it again and you will be able to understand. Boom, I'm very tired, sorry, but check this out, guys. And now I'm able to get the security analyst job title department in his account enable. Woohoo! Yeah, amazing. And sure, you can delete this value here, and you can check for this for all the users that you have available. Okay, and the time trigger, if I expand this for 10 days, for 10 days, 100 days, you'll be able to get all these values. And check these, guys, and we have the users principal name, autonomous system number, IP, session ID, correlation ID. As we did, this is the columns that we have created: device properties, result of status, okay, MFA, conditional access that we have created. This another one. So it's so much, oh my god, so much beautiful. The CA policy column. Yes, that is the one. And we have to use that join here to get these values from job title. Do you remember? You can back in the video where I show for you these columns on IdentityInfo. Okay, if I don't use here the join, I'm not able to get these values from other table, from a table outside the SigninLogs, and etc. The table that I want to get the value. Okay, and sure, you can come here and edit. For example, you can come here and put different than 0. You can have all the pattern of the users. Check this out. We have the Linux and other information available. All the results status available here, the MFA the same, the failure, conditional access policies, and what happened, required for admin was applied, etc, 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 and you have the user agent, and again you have the job title, department, as always. And sure, you can comment the line because you want to see, you can put like and result type equal 0, but it's not so practice do this. What I advise for you is put this on the other line, and you come here and you can just comment for you have all the result types same than 0 and different than 0, and have 11 records here. Do you see here at the bottom? Perfect. Okay, and I can show for you because I open my tool that I have developed in here about this, because I just want to check the IPs, and you can just come here and check the IPs, guys. Let me show for you. This tool is available for you download here, and it's open source. I have created this by myself, and you can just check the reputation. Here we have the ASN autonomous system number for you check here. Okay, the owner and the country, and let's check for this another one, and boom. Okay, it's better. Check this out. Okay, it's so much beautiful and beautiful and beautiful. Let's check for this one, and have all this information, the owner, the harmless, how many engines triggered at this IP as malicious. This is a tool, and you can just came here and you can just came here and cat my project. Okay, you have GitHub, Lowell's. Okay, and for you get this tool available, you can check for domain too, for example google.com and microsoft.com. You have when this domain was created, who registered this, the reputation. You can check for Microsoft too, and other one. Okay, you can check for hash files, so it's amazing tool. And you can get my tool on this GitHub. Is available for you guys. It's open source. Check this out. This is like I have developed this using widget. You can put here tools, IOC, check, and boom, you have the code available here. Okay, just copy this, put your API key from VirusTotal, and it's working perfect. But that was the class yesterday. It's about KQL, how I build my query, and that's it, guys. And I really appreciate your time and attention. See you, take care, and have nice, amazing, perfect day and week. Bye bye, guys, folks, ladies and gentlemen. Hey guys, I forgot to share with you where you can download this too. So this part of the video I did after when I recorded. Okay, you just can access here my GitHub, and you have KQL, right? And you can check here from the SigninLogs. So this KQL is used to get signing from user and get some details from IdentityInfo table. Okay, and you have all the KQL available here. You just copy and use it how you want. Okay, sure. After I will put here some, I will organize this like for SigninLogs, for password spray, brute force, MFA fatigue, impossible travel, etc, etc, that I practice hunting. So I will start this folder. Okay, so it's a pleasure. Take care. Bye bye. See you, ladies and gentlemen.